Hey everyone, I'm Eden and today I'm back with the part 2 of video on how to tap into your queen energy. I had mentioned this before in part 1 as well, that queen basically is defined as what you imagine your highest version to be like. It is the same concept as how to be a high value woman. So if that's something you're interested in, stick around till the very end. Okay, so the first habit of queen which we will be discussing today is they are non-reactive. So what is meant by being non-reactive? Non-reactivity is basically you being mindful of who you choose to react and respond to and what kind of situations you choose to engage in. For example, there is someone who talks to you in a manner that is not very respectful. Now you have two choices. First, you can respond to them exactly the same way they did, but it's something you feel in your heart that it doesn't suit you. It isn't as per your values. It doesn't align with your queen self to talk to them in that way. So either you choose to respond to them and give them what they're asking for, that is your reaction, or you have the second choice, which is to gracefully stay silent, give them the silent message that, hey, I'm not up for this. See, this isn't about being intimidated by them. This is you conveying the silent message that you have the authority and you have control over yourself. You know better than to just give a reaction only because they try to trigger you, that you are well aware that your energy is precious and that you choose to invest that energy in the situations and the people whom you choose, not just anyone. That conveys power right there. Non-reactivity takes quite a bit of emotional regulation and you being aware and present, which means you need to practice your mindfulness and emotional regulation. And it will definitely take a little bit of practice to get used to not reacting to people or situations triggering you, but it's definitely worth it. Queens do not react impulsively, they respond with wisdom. There are many books on emotional regulation, and you can practice mindfulness by different techniques like meditation, so that you are present. And when somebody says something that triggers you, you wait for a second. Instead of just responding immediately, in that second, you process. If you want to engage in it, you really want to respond to them in the way that they talk to you. Or you can be more mindful of the way you react. But at least it's not a reaction anymore. It's rather more of a response. There are lesser chances of you saying something which you would regret later, or would think back and say, hey, this didn't suit me, or this isn't quite my values to respond in that manner. I should have just stayed quiet. Queens are trained in this aspect. That takes us to our next point, which is queens operate from a high level of consciousness. Now, what do I mean by this? I'll give you a little example. Let's say there are two women, one who is operating in a high level of consciousness versus one who isn't. So both of them, let's say, face a financial struggle or a hardship in life. Their attitude, see, when you operate from a high level of consciousness, your whole life paradigm shifts. Your way of taking things, your way of navigating life, your way of solving your problems is so different and so freeing. The woman who is not in a higher consciousness, she isn't in touch with her feelings, she isn't in touch with herself. When she faces a financial hardship, what she would think is, money is so difficult to get. She would be worried about it. She would get anxious and she would put money on pedestal. And you know, when you put anything on pedestal in life, which isn't supposed to be on the pedestal, it drives farther and farther away from you rather than being attracted to you. So she will do anything. She will struggle a lot, she will overwork herself, and maybe eventually face a burnout. In comparison, the other woman who is in her higher level of consciousness, she would sit and think, okay, so a problem has arisen. What is the best possible way I can get myself out of it? She would tap into her creative energy, do something that she loves, and still find a way to convert it into something that provides value to other people and in turn generates money for her. She is in touch with her creativity, her feminine energy. She will use it as a power, as a fuel to do something that she likes, at the same time adding value in life of people, and without taking stress, without being anxious, without putting money on pedestal, knowing that it is something that's on its way to me. That's how she will navigate this whole situation. How differently both of these women would navigate this situation. And queens always operate from a high level of consciousness. The next habit of all queens is that they are secure. For instance, usually when people pass comments on someone to make them feel bad about themselves, sometimes it can be as a response of trigger or out of resentment for someone. But sometimes it can also be because you have some sort of insecurity in yourself. See, you are making someone feel bad about themselves. That means you have some sort of insecurity that lies within you, which you're projecting onto them. A queen would never pass a comment on someone and judge someone, make them feel bad about themselves. Because they are so secure in themselves. They don't need to put someone down in order to feel good about themselves. They know they hold value, and they know other women hold value as well. They're empowering, not demeaning to other women, because they are secure in themselves. They know that hyping each other up or praising someone for something isn't gonna lessen their value. Their value remains as it is, and they are secure in it. That's why I had mentioned this in part 1 as well, but you would not find a queen sitting somewhere and gossiping about someone. The next habit that you will find in each and every single queen is that they are selective of who they choose to give their attention to. So I was recently listening to a podcast by a really good speaker, and there was a quote. He quoted some cricketer. The quote went something like, "In field of life, not every ball is to be played." And that was such a good way of saying it. See, there are many situations, many people that come our way. They are there to test our limits and to trigger us on purpose, to check if we respond to them or we just keep doing what actually matters instead of reacting and responding to every single trigger that we face in life. The women who are queens, they have mastered this art. They know which situation to give their attention to, which interactions to engage in. See, this somehow links back to our point number 1, which is non-reactivity. When you are emotionally regulated and you are in control of yourself, you are mindful of where you choose to spend your attention on, because your attention is a limited resource in this day and age, which is full of distraction. You see distractions everywhere. The single most important thing you can do is to guard your attention, to see where your focus goes. Point number 5, all the queens are conscious of their self-care. Now, self-care isn't just limited to your external maintenance and polishing, although that plays a very important role as well. When you look your best, you feel your best. Someday when you are really in a rut, you're feeling really down, your hair isn't looking its best, wash your hair, pick out a nice... This is also something that's included in self-care, but self-care goes way beyond this. It is how you take care of your mental health. It is how you choose to nourish yourself, with what kinds of foods, with what kinds of thoughts, what kind of media you consume. Okay, our last point for today's video is self-respect. This isn't about being egoistic or how can someone do this to me? I mean, it's me. It isn't about that. It is you face disrespect and you know when to remove yourself from that environment or that situation as a means to silently convey that, hey, this is my boundary. I am respect worthy and I would not tolerate such behavior. So I'm removing myself. So, quickly summarizing all the points I have discussed so far, queens are emotionally regulated. They have high level of consciousness. They are secure in themselves. They are selective of who and which situation they give their attention to. They are conscious about their self-care. And the last point, number 6, they have self-respect. So this is Adan signing off. That was it for today's video. I hope you learned something new. I would most definitely like you guys to drop down in the comments what are your thoughts, how a woman can tap into her queen energy, and what are the habits which are signature of women who are queens. I read each and every single one of your comments. Like this video and share with your friends and family. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care and keep glowing.